Hi, it's me, boyfriend, slash girlfriend, slash stay friends, favorite content creator. I don't know how that sounds. I'm not wearing headphones, but I'm gonna react to an Asmongold video. Yeah. Okay.
He cooked. What's this here?
Here we go.
Black fatigue. Well, nigga fatigue. I love black people. See, it's a difference between niggas and black people.
Oh
you understand? God. And what it should be.
Okay, right off the bat. Why is this in Asmongold subreddit? Where do you think this is going? Where do you think this is going? Do you think Asmongold subreddit has anything positive to say about black people? Do you think they even talk about black people outside of negative stereotypes or anything like that? And I know some people are going to be like, oh, you're poisoning the well. This is Asmongold's audience. I don't know if you guys are familiar with his audience. They're awful people, which is why he's more awful than he normally is. So you already know this is going to be I can't really tell you, this black guy is going to be saying some shit that racists or conservatives want to say about black people, but they can't. So this is their shield. This is I don't know if I can say it on YouTube without getting banned. He is that animal that goes to garbage, and we'll leave it at that. Not Asmongold, the black guy. Asmongold, just go.
Called is nigga fatigue, because even black people have nigga fatigue. You understand? The ghetto ratchet bullshit, all the ignorant stuff that these.
Why is he dressed up like Mario though? Really? Like, yeah. Why is that? Like, that's crazy, right? Anyway, so no, a lot of people say this, and it's antisocial behavior is the problem.
These people stand for
what?
All the ignorant stuff that these people defend.
Yeah.
All the weird shit that these people say. All the victimization and acceptance of the bigotry of low expectations and all the Stockholm syndrome and all that shit like that. All the random acts of violence that people want to ignore because it's black on black, which they also want to ignore. And
okay, holy shit. All right, holy shit. Okay, first and foremost, I have a degree in this. I do. I got my degree in criminal justice. So I have some level of authority here. Most crime is intra-racial, meaning most crime happens within certain demographics against the same demographic because most people demographically are grouped together, right? White people are the majority. So there's more white on white crime than like white on black. There's more black on black crime than black on white. Like there's more crime within a culture than against other ethnic cultures. That's just how it works. It's proximity based. That's just how it is. So for this dude to be like, well, we know all the random shit that we do. You mean people? You mean what people do? Everything he's saying can be applied to literally any race. You don't think white people commit random acts of violence? You don't think white people have like mediocre people there and people who aren't achieving their full abilities? Like, you think it's just a black person thing? That's crazy.
Just say it's proximity crime, but no, it's black on black crime. It's an epidemic.
Not an epidemic.
They're not going to like this, bro. People are not going to like this on the internet. They're going to be pissed. Because
it's wrong information, Asmongold, which is why you are platforming it.
Oh my God.
Black fatigue is some real shit. And y'all are getting what the fuck y'all wanted to get when y'all wanted to perpetuate racism, because nobody in America is perpetuating racism but black people.
Nobody but black people. Remember, he said that. Okay. He said only black people are spreading racism. White supremacist group takes over Kansas City for Memorial Weekend March. A white supremacist hate group marched downtown Kansas City on Saturday amid Memorial Day celebrations. According to KCTV Patriot Front, a white supremacist hate group convened in downtown Kansas City wearing white face masks, hats, and sunglasses to obscure their faces, along with matching khaki and navy outfits. So again, this is a white supremacist group. Here we go. We must secure existence of our people and this is the 14 words. I fully support this message, vision, and grit, determination of Patriot Front. Thomas Rizal, delivers a powerful speech at the National World War I Memorial White Lives Matter lightning bolts, SS bolts. That's racism. I would say that's more racist. I don't know what black people are doing that equals that. Having hate groups. 33 extremist groups currently operate in Colorado. Extremist groups in Colorado include anti-government organizations, anti-LGBTQ, and anti-immigration group, white nationalists, and sovereign citizens. These are all the fucking same people, just so you know. And here are the names here. These are all white supremacist groups. Cool. Just black people spreading racism. Just blacks. Got it.
Get out of your neighborhood and out from around all the rest of them.
I think the problem is that this is the issue, is that I do think that white people push it too, but the difference is that when a black person does a racism, people try to contort themselves in reasons why it's okay. But when a white person does a racism, everybody is like, oh yeah, that's bad. That's really where that's the problem, and that's what I think gets people.
I would love for Asmongold to bring up an example where that happens. Do you think Asmongold is going to bring up an example where black people do a racism and people are contorting themselves?
Mad.
Bullshit people that you...
No, okay, he's not. So I'll do this part for you, Asmongold. So here's the reason why you might think that's the case. You live in a world to which you have the power to not see race. And because of that, you want to do false equivalences or false dichotomies, where when one person does something, it is the same as if another person does something. We do not live in a world like that. It is easy on paper to just say, if one person does X and another person does X, then they're both as bad and it's both as culpable, right? But we live in the real world. So for example, let's say I trip you on accident and then you break my kneecaps. Now, could we both say we did something to harm each other? Sure. But one is much more significant than the other, right? In terms of racism, there is a power behind it. And in America, racism is institutionalized. So when white people do a racism, they are using that institutionalized power, the power that they've had by virtue of being considered white. Black people, Hispanics, whatever you want to say, doing a racism quite literally isn't the same thing. And I know people are going to look at me sideways like, oh, you're just twisting up knots, but let's be fucking real. If my big ass self, my big black self, 6'9", I got taller somehow, 6'9" self, if I were to go out and start a fight with someone who is half my size and we get into it and I start that fight, I'm the aggressor, right? It doesn't matter if they, suddenly start retaliating. I'm the aggressor. But if I continually pick fights with people to which I have no business fighting them, they're literally half my size, and then they start fighting me, does it make sense to get mad at them to start fighting me? I would say no. I would say no, because I'm the aggressor here. I have a privilege. White people in this country have a privilege. So when they start doing racist shit, they have that privilege and that power. We see it all the time. I just showed you how white people are fucking doing marches as white supremacists and nothing's happening to them. Meanwhile, black people do marches and the police come and beat the shit out of us. That's what happens. Our peaceful protests, our peaceful marches get turned to violence because either agent provocateurs or more often than not, cops come and escalate things because they see black skin. So, but Asmongold, I would love for you to give me an example of where you see black people getting away with or doing a racism and people saying it's fair and good. Like in real life example, not just my hypotheticals, right? I would love that.
You fuck with to understand the reality of what's going on in the world. And what you will see is that it's people that look like me that's perpetuating racism, because white people don't give a fuck. They not running around talking about what our hairstyles are and you can't wear this and you can't wear that and you can't say this and you can't say that. It's weird, bro. It's weird.
Once again, It is not the same. When I have different hair, right, than most people probably watching this video, you can't do certain hairstyles because it's going to fuck up your hair, and let's be real, doesn't look good on you. You have straight oily hair. We have kinky drier hair. We can do different kind of holds. You can't unless you want to fucking rip the hair out of your scalp, which I guess by all means do that. But also, a lot of people's hairs does have cultural significance to them. So if you start to just dress like someone's culture, not understanding significance, people can be upset about that. I personally don't care because, again, if you want to fuck up your hair, you can do that. But that's also a weak example to use. Black fatigue, because some black people don't want non-black people, like, what, saying the N-word? Because he said this too.
You can't wear that and you can't say this and you
can't say this. The N-word. Nigga. I can say nigga. I'm black. Remember? I can say it. And it's always strange to me when people will twist themselves into knots by trying to reason why they, as a non-black, should be able to say the N-word. And it's always hilarious to me because there's no good reason for me to be able to say that. There's none. There's a million other words you can use. Why are you so pressed with that one word?
You can't say that. It's weird, bro. It's weird. And it's over.
I mean, as a white person, I haven't really gone around and done that. Yeah. I mean, as far as I know, I don't think I've done that.
It's over because y'all ain't ready for what you asking for. You're not ready for that race war. While y'all flapping y'all trap and waiting on the white man to give you what you need to jump off a race war, them white boys in the motherfucking woods doing calisthenics and running drills and shooting and throwing knives and learning how to live off the land. They ready.
What the fuck are you talking about? Black people aren't waiting for a race war to pop off. Quite literally, white nationalists are the ones promoting a race war. They have been for forever. My nigga, you are dumb.
For that. Y'all not ready for that, bro. Y'all not ready for that. Y'all just talking a bunch of shit, and that goes to show your privilege and how spoiled the black community has become. Period. I don't see no white privilege. That's black privilege everywhere I see. You understand? It's a lot of degenerate shit going on between both races, though. Yeah. Especially with the Carmelo Anthony thing. That was some degenerate punk bullshit.
That's right. What kind of a fucking retard goes and defends that shit? Yes, what are you even thinking? What are you doing? Why would you say this? Why would you defend this? Yes, perfectly said. It was some pump bullshit. Yes. Like, and the thing is that he's so unfathomable based. Yes, it's like that Shiloh fucking whatever her name was, Hendrix girl, calling some black kid the N-word. Like, this shit would have never even popped off. Nobody would have even brought this up. It would have been done and dusted in a day. Nobody would have cared, but it's because of that Carmelo Anthony bullshit that...
Holy shit, Asmongold. All right, let me get into your dumbass. So, first and foremost, a grown-ass white woman calling a black autistic child the N-word, a slur, and then getting money from it. Your whole reasoning is no one would have cared, but because what happened with Carmelo Anthony. So black people can't be upset about anything if something else happens with a black person involved. That's your logic. So we can't be mad that a white woman's profiting off of calling a little black boy a slur because a separate, unrelated incident happened with a black person, a white person, to which you do not know the fucking details of. And you could have been like, oh, it would have been done and dusted, but oh, you blacks just had to, you know, kill a white guy and this is your fault. Fucking moron, dude.
Then you had a bunch of white people get together and be like, well, we're going to raise more money than you did. It's dumb as hell.
This is victim blaming what this is.
He's a coward, period. I don't give a fuck. He's a fucking coward. Justice to all slain children. And as far as like Shiloh Hendrix, she's fucking trash. I'm sorry. She's trash.
Of course she is.
I do like the fact that Asmongold is so incapable of coming up with his own opinions that he constantly has to wait for people to say shit. But yeah, dude, yeah, of course she is. Like, he couldn't have said that she was trash prior to him saying she was trash, knowing full well what she did.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna just be honest, bro. Yeah.
They want to get behind trash. That's on them. But I don't blame them,
because that's the problem, is that if you want, if this is the problem, is
it's on them. But I don't blame them.
Wait, so wait. So So this nigga clearly just hates black people. Maybe a black girl broke his heart a couple of years ago. Who knows? To be like, she's trash, whatever. He has no smoke for her, all smoke for black people. But then to be like, but if you support her, that's fine. That's not on them. What? What?
But that's the problem, is that if you want, if this is the problem, is that when somebody who's trash gets supported by one group, then you're going to have somebody else that's trash that gets supported by the opposite group. Because they say, oh, okay, you want to play this game? Let's play this game. You want to defend this asshole? We're going to defend this other asshole. And now everybody's stupid. That the trash wars, I know. You get a nuance? Yeah, this is, no, the thing is that the reality is that if you go to McDonald's and you see a guy that looks like this, he's probably going to have these same fucking opinions.
What the fuck are you talking about, Asmongold? Go to McDonald's because that's the only place he goes to outside. Asmongold, you don't hang around black people. Shut the fuck up. Why are you even having a conversation with this?
If you go to Walmart and you see, this is the way most people think, by the way.
No, it's not, unless they're racist.
I just saw a bunch of people who look like me get behind a trash ass person too.
Yeah.
And they just
It makes people racist. It does.
As anybody
It's
else,
bad.
because the racism has been towards them for the past few decades.
Yeah.
But you still want to say it's towards you when it's not. When you have the privilege, you don't even know that you have the privilege. You don't even know that you had reparations.
Nigga, what? Reparations?
Have the privilege. You don't even know that you have the privilege. You don't even know that you had reparations. We've been had reparations. And to tell the truth, the United States does
what
not
reparations?
Reparations.
Yes, they do. 40 acres and a mule.
Owes our ancestors.
You're talking about your lived experience in Texas. People in liberal states actually act like crazies. I am in a liberal state. It's called Austin. You know what happens whenever
Austin's a city. Also, I'm sorry. What is this black man talking about? We had reparations? When the fuck did this happen? Did this happen during the anti-DEI push when they wouldn't let us celebrate Black History Month? Did it happen during then? Was it when I was in Mexico? Is that when it happened? When black people got reparations? Is that when it happened? Damn.
I go from Austin to California, the price of things goes up. Everything else stays the same. It's more expensive in California, and the weather's better, to be fair. Yeah, it's basically the same city.
I highly doubt Austin, Texas, same as Los Angeles, California.
I'm gonna pass on that because Africa's black people. I think y'all scared of white people. Because it's been many times in the hood where, you know, some white cops did something and then one of you fools came and killed a black person behind it. Like, cut it out.
What the fuck are you talking about? Please, why does no one ever just bring examples? Just if you're gonna sit down and make a video talking about bullshit, you at the very least can bring up examples, right? You can do that. When did a black person have a white cop do something to them and then they killed a black person for it? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Hold on, wait. I'm looking at the comments and this thing. It says, reparations started in the 60s and they never talk about that because it never fucking happened. What are you talking about? These niggas killed MLK and Malcolm X. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Cut it out. It's time for shit to change. It's time to move forward. Mm-hmm. Don't nobody give a fuck about no slavery. Don't nobody give a fuck about no past.
I think that's the way a lot of...
He says that no past as he is sporting his pobo ass extra read all about a fucking ass fit.
White people feel, especially like young white guys, right? It's like they see some guy that they grow up with. It's like something that happened. And the problem, I think, is that there are like residual echo effects and like ripple effects from slavery and like pre-civil rights Jim Crow shit.
Yeah, you fucking dumbass. Of course there's effects from that. We have laws in place of that. Yes, of course there's effects from Jim Crow and slavery. We were property for like half the time we've been here. Of course there's going to be ripple effects from that. Let me finish.
But it's hard to have a conversation about that in an honest way because everybody wants to think about it from like one angle and that's it. Not really though.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I think that it's personal, but I think that you can get a demographic. You can find a demographic commonality and a demographic trend without necessarily applying it to an individual. Does that make sense?
No. What are you talking about?
We have a future.
Wait, no. Explain that. What are you talking about? You can find a demographic trend and commonality without talking about a specific person? What trend are you talking about? This is why I hate people who are just so fucking like unintelligent, but also like you scared to just say what they fucking mean, because then they do this pussyfoot bullshit, and it's like you're being so vague. You're vague posting. We already know you support this racist ass bullshit this guy's talking about because it denigrates black people. So just say it. Like, what are you trying to say?
And we not even concentrating on it. Period. I said what I said. Say what the fuck you want to say about me. Get mad, talk shit. I don't give a damn. I want all the smoke because I have black fatigue too.
Let me go ahead and give you an example, right?
Please do.
Let's say you're black, you're 35, 34,
That's me.
right? You're my age. Your grandpa probably grew up before civil rights. The probability that he received an education that fully informed and educated him in the usage of the English language is probably low. And growing up in a family that doesn't use English in a proper way and doesn't know how to speak proper English and use grammar and communicate in a way that's efficient, that is going to be a class indicator. And this is also something that happens with white people too. It's not universal, but one of the ways that a lot of like people that are like higher class can tell that you're not is the way that you talk, the way that you communicate. And a lot of these people, if you're communicating in a way that is broken English, you're not able to express yourself in an effective way, that is going to be a massive detriment to you as an individual. And what I'm saying is that things and growing up in a family, this is a generational thing that, of course, obviously it can change in a generation. But when you're starting on the back foot, you can assume that out of 1,000 people, 1,000 families, 1,000,000 families, the ones that have a generational advantage of, let's say, 4 generations are on average probably going to be better than the ones that have a generational advantage of 1. I mean, this is it's
I do not know what point he was trying to make with that, because he said, let me give you an example, and then just went on talking about how classism works. Like, yes, we live in a classist society, which is why we need a class warfare, not a race warfare. But we live in a classist society, so where there are, yes, class indicators, you know, people's way they speak, their education, how they dress, you know, the foods that they eat, how they take care of themselves physically, right? Physical fitness is also seen as a class indicator. People who are overweight are seen as poor and uneducated, right? But what does that, like, he's stating that this is not race specific, which it's not. If you do not speak English perfectly, that does indicate a level of class for certain people. Well, that could be because you have broken English because you're a foreigner. That could be because, you know, like he said, you are generations behind or whatever. But I'm really confused as to what the point of that was in the context of black fatigue and black families. Because he started off with saying, say you're a black guy who's 35 years old, your grandfather probably wasn't educated. And now he went to, well, that's not just specific to black people. So then why did you start with black people?
pure logic. It like if you're not thinking like this, I don't know what to tell you. Right? It is a problem. And so like these issues do exist. They are legitimate, but they're discussed in dishonest and disingenuous completely off base.
You didn't make any point.
Let me finish this video. You want to type out, if you want to type out why you think this is off base, that's fine. But let me go ahead and finish the video first, okay? And you can type it out.
And so do the rest of the black people. Tired of it, dude. We tired of y'all representing for us because y'all don't speak for us. Y'all don't think like we think. Y'all don't do what we do. As a matter of fact,
what do you do?
It's worse than you do white people because we're in proximity to your bullshit.
Oh.
What do you do?
I said what the fuck I said.
Yeah, no. That's
what do you do?
I think there's a lot of people that feel this way, and
is that me or was that a whole lot of nothing? That was a whole lot of nothing. The man gave no examples. He's talking about how black people are uneducated. Okay, Mr. Educated chimney sweep, then put up some data, put up some sources. Because I can pull up sources that show that black women are the most educated across all demographics. Right? I can do that. Yeah. Let's look at let's just do that. Okay, here we go. Black women are the most educated demographic in America. So I could bring up that source. I could bring that up. Black women are the most educated demographic in America. But you're talking about, your bullshit. So where are your sources? Where are your research papers? Where in your stuff? Instead of just anecdotal data. If you want to talk this talk, you want to talk about how we're onto some bullshit and we only want to represent us in the negative light and not talk about the things that white people are doing, then please bring up your sources. But you won't. You decided to get on this video. You decided to appease white people and show that you're one of the good ones by putting down black people. You yourself are contributing to the same shit you said you hate. Because now you're spreading your bullshit. And guess what? You don't represent all of us. You simply don't. You could have just talked about it from your perspective and your own feeling, but you didn't. You try to make it seem like there's a bunch of us saying this. Where y'all at?
And it's especially like the antisocial behavior. And I think the problem is that antisocial bad behavior, it's hard to call that stuff out. And I think that like people in America have a hard time calling that out because they're worried that if they do, it'll be perceived as racism. That's the reason why it keeps happening. And that's the problem why it keeps going on. No, I agree with pretty much what he's saying.
Of course you do.
Here, we got base culture problem. Black culture promotes broken speaking. It's defended as their culture. But like, has it ever occurred to you that like, and I'm not even saying this is what I don't know if you can really say black culture as if it's a monolith, right? I don't think that's really fair to say.
Wow, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Asmongold here. But yes, black culture is not a monolith. Black culture is many things. There's Southern black culture, right? For example, that's completely separate from like West Coast black culture, because it's from like East Coast black culture. Even within our communities in SoCal, we have a different culture over here than people in like fucking San Diego would have, right? Like, black people are not this monolithic race that people love us to be, which is why you have people like me and people like fucking Candace Owens. Me and Candace Owens don't get along. I have more in common with white leftists than I do with her ass, okay? We are not a monolith.
But let's say it is. Has it ever occurred to you that the reason why that happens is a holdover from the fact that they weren't taught the English in the right way?
Also, I hate this argument so much because like only we get our culture analyzed to such a degree. No one says this shit about white people from like the South with Southern twang and all that shit. No one talks about white people from Appalachian. Oh my God, in Appalachia. No one talks about how white people from different countries come over here and how they speak and how they talk. No one ever does that for white people. But for black people, it's like, well, they don't speak English. We do. We do not speak English, but we also speak a variant of that called AAVE, which you motherfuckers use on a consistent basis. That shit's lit. Riz. It's giving. Nah, I'm finna be like, oh, he beating. Oh, he staying. Yes, you guys use our culture, our language all the fucking time. Then you want to be like, well, these people can't speak English. It's close. And guess what? English that you speak. If you go to England, they would say you don't speak proper English. So get the fuck out of here with that.
Because they didn't have like access to proper education less than 100 years ago. Like how this is a generational thing, urban culture. Yeah, exactly. And also there's plenty of white people that speak broken English too, right?
Exactly.
And so no. All right, they did have access. Okay, guys, I'm gonna be real.
What do you mean they'd have access?
I don't think that most of the people in this chat want to have an honest conversation about this topic.
Well, Asmongold, why would you think the people in your chat want to have an honest conversation about black people in this America and like our history here and how we were treated and how we've accomplished things and, like how our language has evolved and how we've created our own culture through our language? Why wouldn't your audience want to talk about black people in a way that doesn't make us look like Neanderthals? Why do you think that? Why do you think that, Asmongold?
I think that they just want to go on and on about how it's black fatigue or some bullshit. I'm not about that.
Asmongold, Zach, you quite literally just watched a video called Black Fatigue and said you are in fact about that. You said you agree with everything that man just said. You can't. Are you? Is it literally like when someone else is talking, we're reacting to, your brain goes into yes man mode, and then when they're done, it's like you woke up, like object permanence. Like what the fuck?
I think that, yeah, obviously, like, there are issues each race has, sure, right? Like, whatever. But the main fucking thing is antisocial behavior. I'm not going to comment on, like, black people's issues. I'm not black. But I can say for a white person, I think white people have issues themselves. But
what was the point of this video? What was the point of this video?
the thing is that I think that it's antisocial, aggressive behavior that makes people uncomfortable. And if you can't call that out because you're afraid of being racist, you need to look at what the reason for that is and stop blaming it on the individual person. Or sorry, stop blaming it on groups of people. So yeah, that's all I'm really trying to say.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay. People often associate aggression with black people because of racism. Whenever black people get more emotional, what do they call us? Angry black men, angry black women. But if it's a white person doing it, they're just passionate, right? It's the same bullshit what women have to go through in terms of sexism, especially in the workplace, where if a woman defends herself or speaks up for herself or advocates for herself, she's not a team player. She's catty. She's a bitch. She's all these things. But if a guy does it, he's a leader. He takes initiative. It's the same thing. So you can't separate the two. If you are going to call what black people do aggression and antisocial behavior, and you're going to tie that to the way that our culture is, that is racist. It's no different when people say the reason why black people kill each other because of the hip hop music they listen to. Racist. Because if our music makes us violent, what the fuck were they listening to in the Mayflower? What was happening during the fucking Civil War? What album dropped then? Right? It's the same sort of rhetoric here. You cannot say that we are antisocial as a culture, and that's why this happens. Are there antisocial people who are black? Of course, because antisocialness is not race specific. But you can't also try to get to this landing point, Asmongold, when you were fucking reacting to a guy saying black fatigue who was demeaning black people, denigrating us, saying that he's different than the rest of us, and then you saying you support that shit.
And so it's caveman behavior. Yeah. And so, like, because people always try to get me to make comments on this because I'm like, I think that I'm probably one of the only people, if not the only person, that talks about this in a way that's not one dimensional. Like, most people either talk about this like everything about this is totally racist, this guy's an Uncle Ruckus, or they talk about this guy, they say, oh yeah, like this is why we need to bring back, you know, like all these things like dog whistle for like, you know, segregation or like racist shit or like Klan shit, right? Like I feel like I'm probably one of the only people that comments on this and talks about it in a way that's honest. And I'm not trying to glaze myself right now, I'm just trying to say it's glazing. And that's it.
I love how he just says, like, I'm not trying to glaze, but it's true. I'm the only person on the internet who can ever have this conversation with nuance. My brother in Christ, once again, you said you agreed with everything he said. You said you agreed with everything he said. This man who spoke in no nuance, who gave you nothing. All he talked about was vagueness of what happens in black culture as if it is endemic to black culture. And that's it. That's all he did. And you're like, he's correct. And then the second his video stopped, it's like, wait a minute, actually, maybe this isn't specific to a race. Maybe this is something that is generic in all humans, actually. Any sort of culture, any sort of place where large gatherings of people live for a long period of time and create their own ways, this is inevitably going to happen. Like, I don't understand Asmongold at all, bro.
The chat's a hive mind right now? No, I know that. Have you noticed there's a lot of people, racist people in chat recently? I'll explain why there's been a lot of racist people in chat. It's actually very simple. The reason why is because I discuss race issues. And so, like, if I discuss race issues, you're going to get racist people in chat. That's what's going to happen.
No, Asmongold. It's not because you discuss race issues in your chat. It is because of the shit that you say. It is the fact that you align yourself with people on the right/far right far more than you align with people who are on the left or even centrist. When you allow those people to be in your audience, that's what happens. When you have videos of you saying, I want to go on immigration raids as a fucking Pokemon trainer, and saying that's base and that's cool, you are sending out the bat signal that terrible, deplorable people are welcome in your fucking community. And because of that, that's how you attract terrible, deplorable people like racists. Like that. It's okay to be white.
And so, like, because obviously if you have conversations about this, you're going to have people that are mad. Why are people so one-sided? Because the reason why people are one-sided is because people think that ceding any ground in a conversation or an argument means that you lose. But the fact is that you do lose if you don't cede ground, because you're operating on a false premise. And I think that's the way a lot of these people are happening. This isn't historically correct. The black vernacular actually came from white Southerners carrying over the accents from England. It's not about education, it's historical holdover. Well, yes, but the historical holdover is in the same with the education. It's not like you can't separate the two things. Having a lack of access to education was not something that black people had a monopoly on. There were a lot of white people that also didn't have access to good education. But I was saying, as a proportion, if you look at demographics and percentages, of course you're going to have a higher percent. Like, how do people have such a hard time with percentages? And
per
capita statistics. Why is it so hard for people to understand this?
Asmongold, you didn't understand a fucking U.S. aid post from Politico. You thought they were sending money to Politico to write articles about gamers and smear them. I don't think you get to be the arbiter of like being surprised by people's inability to understand things. I'm just saying.
See, we need to get rid of Algebra 2. And we need to replace it with statistics. And if you can't read a fucking graph, you should not be able to graduate high school.
Asmongold, we do have statistics in high school.
If you don't understand what a percentage of a percentage is, you know, a sample size is, you don't get to leave high school. Or if you do, you leave high school and you go right to the coal mines immediately and you can't vote. You never vote until you can read a graph. And if you can't read a graph, you ain't voting. That's it. 80-20 rule? It's not even that, bro. Like, it's crazy. And I don't even know what the hell to say, man. People arguing probably didn't graduate high school. Yeah, I know. And blacks don't have a decreased access to education. That's a lie. You didn't listen to anything that I said. And this is the reason why. Actually, you know what? Let's move on.
This is really your audience.
A lot of people in chat are brainwashed. And I think that they're so ideologically captured in one direction with this topic that it's not even worth having a conversation about, because nobody wants to approach this in good faith.
Asmongold, holy shit. I don't know if this is a moment of lucidity. Asmongold, you're the reason their audience is like this. You cannot put out content that's like, DEI is bad, I hate DEI, wokeness is terrible, this is all bad, and then be so surprised Pikachu face when your audience is like, we don't like black people or really any minorities. Like, oh, I don't think anyone here wants to have an honest conversation. That's because you curated this audience. Like, you did this. This is a hell of your own making, much like your own home. You did this. Your rhetoric is why this is happening. The fact that he has such cognitive dissonance between his actions, his content, and the people who receive it and engage with it blows my mind.
I'm not blaming the people in chat. It's not you guys' fault. Like, really there's like 10 people, 20 people that are doing this, right? There's like fucking 40,000 people in the chat. There's a few people that are bad actors, right? I understand it's not everybody, but like, I don't want to go and talk about this and get into it, because I just feel like on the internet in general, nobody wants to talk about this in a fair way. They don't. It makes me frustrated, man. Misinterpretations and malinterpretations. It's the malinterpretations is the problem.
I'm just at a loss for words right here, because like, if you guys have seen the content that Asmongold puts out, it is so painfully obvious why his audience is the way that they are. He doesn't challenge any beliefs. He just is a soundboard for other people's beliefs, and they often filter extreme right-wing talking points through him, and he's just like, yup, And I know you guys think I might be insane or reading too much into this, but if literally go through his videos on his, or maybe don't, but on his YouTube channel, for example, a lot of his content is squarely in the right. It is right wing. It is right wing focused. It's how Trump is based, how, DEI is bad and wokeness is bad and the women are ugly in games, all that stuff. All that rhetoric does is attract those people. And then in his own video, where he's like, yeah, what this black guy who's wrong is saying, I agree with him 100%. But then also, maybe I don't agree with him. Like, I don't like, what's happening here? How are people taking his opinion on things seriously when he can't even keep his own shit straight? Like, how is he any sort of voice of reason when he doesn't even reason with his own self? The person during the react and the person after the react are two different people. Like, is that just me? Am I insane for seeing that and saying that? Like, literally saying he supports what that guy says. The second the video's over, he effectively contradicts what that guy was saying. That guy was saying that's a black people issue, black people being people down, whatever. And then Asmongold agrees with that. And then suddenly he's like, actually, no, it's actually not specific to black people. It's more of like a cultural class thing. I'm like, yeah, okay, then what was the point of the video? I'm so confused.